The following video comes from a group called the Three Haunted Explorers, who set up cameras inside what appears to be a residential space and left them running overnight using a night vision phone application, the green-filtered kind that turns every shadow into something worth staring at. In the first location, they positioned the camera in front of a white dresser and taped 4 playing cards to its drawer faces, seemingly as makeshift trigger objects, items placed deliberately to detect any unseen movement. Watch. Without anyone entering the room, one of the dresser drawers slowly slides open on its own. It pauses, then quietly closes again. The investigators believed it was the first sign that something in the house was responding to their setup. But according to them, that was only the beginning. Watch. In another room, a chair begins rotating by itself. Not suddenly, not as if it had been bumped, and later that same night, something even stranger appears. Some viewers believe all three events are connected. In paranormal investigations, objects like playing cards, toys, and chairs are often used as trigger items under the belief that an intelligent presence may manipulate them to acknowledge the investigators. If that's the case here, the activity appears to progress, from moving a drawer to rotating a chair to what some interpret as a partial visual manifestation. Whether these were unrelated coincidences or signs of something becoming increasingly willing to reveal itself is a question the footage leaves unanswered. Quick thing before we continue, all of our videos are now available on Spotify too, so if that's somewhere you already find yourself late at night, every compilation we've made is waiting there for you. Whichever way you'd rather watch, the link's in the description. Now back to the video. This next clip was recorded inside what appears to be an empty school building late at night, sometime around 8:16 p.m., according to the clock on one of the classroom screens. No one else is around, the hallways are dark, and a woman makes her way through the building alone, phone in hand. She enters one of the classrooms, where an interactive whiteboard is on and playing a children's educational video, which in an empty school at night is already unsettling enough on its own. She walks up to it and manually presses the power button. The screen goes black. Watch.
So, of course, I'm the night custodian, so I'm usually here at night. And I was just getting ready to vacuum my classrooms, and I can hear something. This TV turned on by itself, and it's playing some YouTube shit. That shouldn't even be open. When you first turn these on, you have to click on the application. Sort of creepy that it's playing kid cartoons and shit. I'm gonna turn it off, but this should have not even turned on by itself. So I'm gonna show you guys. When these turn on by themselves, like let's say it turns on by itself for some reason. First of all, it has to load. Sorry, I'm sort of freaked out now because this TV keeps turning on by itself. Okay. So these view boards, when they first turn on, this is the screen that you should see. There shouldn't be like any videos playing or YouTube or nothing, because you physically have to click on these to get into the applications, to get into whatever you're trying to do on them. So even if these accidentally turn on, or if they were on a timer and it expires, anything, this is a screen that should pop up. So the fact that it was on with YouTube and a kid show, I could hear talking, it really did scare me. And now I'm sort of freaked out because weird stuff happens like this to me all the time. So I just wanted to show you guys, like, if it came on, this is what it should have been, not a kid show. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it back off, and it better not turn back on because I will freak out. I'm already freaked out. Okay, now it's time to vacuum. That's what I was gonna do in the...
According to the woman, she spent a long time trying to think of a logical explanation, a scheduled update, a faulty power button, automatic startup settings. Nothing she came up with seemed to fit what she'd witnessed. But what unsettled her most was that it didn't only happen once. Watch.
In the first place. Okay, so I'm honestly freaked out. I just got done vacuuming in here, so I turned off my vacuum and I hear something again. Somebody please explain this to me. I'm so freaked out. I don't even want to go in here, but I gotta turn off this TV. I have a fucking kid ghost in here wanting to learn at night. Damn it.
fix new train.
Won't let me turn it off.
Sue takes the screws.
And now it's stuck.
Here is some glue.
It won't even sleep.
Fix
What the fuck?
Yellow's new hat. I can fix
Okay. I swear, that TV better not come on again. Stop turning on the TV! Okay, I'm out of here.
Some paranormal enthusiasts believe electronic devices are among the easiest objects for alleged spirits to influence, claiming that televisions, radios, and interactive displays can be manipulated because they already rely on electrical energy. In schools especially, stories often revolve around toys, classroom equipment, or educational devices activating without warning after hours, leading some investigators to speculate that locations strongly associated with children may produce reports involving childlike phenomena. But one detail continues to bother viewers. Why did it keep showing children's program? The following video was recorded by a woman who was lying in bed, not expecting anything unusual, just resting with her back to the window, when something started to feel wrong. She rolled over, and that's when she noticed it. A dark, amorphous shape pressed against the inside of her window blind, like a hand, completely still, just sitting there in the glow of the backlit glass. She set her phone up and left it recording, not moving, barely breathing. Watch.
Oh my gosh. Stop. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Holy shit. Stop. 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 Okay, just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Oh my gosh.
What you hear is just as unsettling as what you see. That shape holds its position for an uncomfortably long time before disappearing, and when she tries to ignore it, the tapping starts. A clean, deliberate 3-knock sequence against the glass, then again, louder and more aggressive the second time, as if whatever was out there knew she was listening. She whispers for it to stop. She's crying. She's telling herself it's okay. And then the scraping begins. A continuous dragging sound moving along the exterior wall that lasts for nearly 20 seconds. Some viewers believe this is exactly the kind of escalating response that's associated with intelligent hauntings. The idea that something will grow bolder when it senses fear rather than retreat from it. Others think the shape could have been a person standing just outside, which honestly makes it no less terrifying. It didn't stop there. The following night, the tapping came back, and this time she decided she wasn't just going to lie there. Watch.
Okay, it's back. It has never done this 2 nights in a row. Ugh. You were telling me to go yell at it and to look. Okay. Okay. Stole this perlite from my mom. You wanna mess with me? Fine. I'll do what you look like. There's a light facing the window. Okay. Leave me alone! Nothing's there. You heard the tapping, right? Oh my god. Nope. Nope.
She grabs a flashlight, illuminates the blinds from the sill, and when the tapping gets louder and more rapid in response to the light, she yanks the blinds up and yells at whatever's out there, only to find the window well completely empty, except for one thing, a scorpion sitting on a plank at the bottom. No animal, no person, nothing that could have been producing those sounds. Skeptics will point to the scorpion as a mundane explanation. It was simply nesting in the window well and tapping as it moved around. But that doesn't explain the shape from the night before, and it doesn't explain why the tapping seemed to respond to her actions, growing more aggressive every time she made a move. 2 nights, the same window, something that seems to know she's there. What exactly is it knocking for, and what would have happened if she'd opened that window the first time? The following video was recorded by a man who, for weeks, had been brushing off what people around him kept warning him about, that something was happening near his property, something tied to the shed out back. He didn't believe it at first, but night after night, he kept seeing things, hearing things, and eventually, he couldn't just sit inside anymore. So at 3:21 in the morning on May 10th, he positioned himself and started recording the shed from a distance, a beige single-story structure in his backyard with blue double doors and windows on either side. Watch.
At this point, I just don't know what is going on. I don't know. I mean, what is this and what is going on?
What he captures over the course of that recording is genuinely difficult to dismiss. There are small, orb-like points of light that pop up near the shed and vanish almost immediately. Then the light inside the shed itself, a shed that, by all appearances, should be empty and locked, begins flashing on and off with no visible cause. But if you pay close attention to the zoomed-in shots of the right-hand door, you'll notice something marich behind the window panes. A dark, shapeless mass shifting back and forth in the lower section of the door. And at one point, what looks like a head-shaped silhouette drops down suddenly out of view. Some people watching this think it could be residual energy, activity that repeats itself on a kind of loop, unaware of the living world around it. Others think something is actively hiding, something that knows when it's being watched. Skeptics point to reflections and camera artifacts, which is fair given how grainy and dark the footage is, but that explanation gets harder to hold onto when the shape deliberately ducks. Whatever's inside that shed, it doesn't seem to want to be seen. So what do you think it is? The following video was recorded by a man who's been documenting strange activity in his home for some time, and according to him, it's been building steadily, from an overwhelming smell of decay, to finding bones and teeth in his basement, to what he describes as the Bible incidents, a phrase he drops without much explanation, as if whoever's watching already knows. On this particular day, he's playing a slow, melancholic melody on his electronic piano when his dog suddenly barks at something off-screen. He stops mid-song and heads toward the basement to check, leaving the camera running. Watch.
Never leave this door open, and I just walked in here. This motherfucker. Oh my god, I'm so sick of this shit.
With no one in the room, a single sustained low note plays on the piano, the same note he opened with, and holds there in the silence. Then he returns, grabs the camera, and walks through the house in a visibly shaken state, eventually reaching the basement door, which is wide open. He insists he never leaves it open. For viewers who've followed cases like this, that detail matters more than the piano note, because it suggests that whatever is happening isn't staying in one room. Some believe certain presences replay familiar sounds, residual energy looping through the space it inhabited, especially if something occurred near that basement before the current resident ever moved in. Others think electronics, particularly digital keyboards, can misfire without human input, and they'd point to that explanation first. But that doesn't account for the door. That's the part that sticks. Several days later, he set up a security camera in his study, and when he let his dog outside that night, his dog refused to go, instead sitting directly in front of that same basement door. He eventually coaxed him away with treats. About 15 minutes later, when he came back inside, this is what he found. Watch. A book had been thrown forcefully off the top of the bookshelf while he was outside, traveling horizontally across the room before landing behind the armchair. When he picks it up, it's a holy Bible. He mentioned Bible incidents before, and now one has landed on his floor while he was out of the room, thrown by nothing he could see. The dog already knew something was wrong before any of this happened. The question that keeps coming back is a simple one. What exactly is it that keeps finding its way out of that basement? The following video was filmed from outside, number 43, a weathered, teal-sided place with peeling paint and darkened windows. During the day, moving past it slowly, with what looks like a phone pointed up at the upper floor. Nothing obvious at first, just a tired-looking house under overcast light. Watch.
Yeah. Y'all can hear that shit? Okay. Listen. So the guy that lived here moved, right? He left and he said that he was going to live in his car because his wife died or something like that. I don't know, some weird shit, right? And I have not seen this guy since. It's been like, I don't know, a year and a half. These two windows stay open during the blizzard that just went by. Them shits were open. Rain, sleet, shine. I kid you not, the window is always open. I have not seen anybody come in or out of this in like a year and a half, 2 years. Listen, every like 2-3 months, you'll randomly hear some fucking screaming coming from this house, yo. Listen, it's gonna happen again. Watch. It's gonna happen again. Not because I'm kidding. Watch. You hear it? It's gonna happen again. Somebody's about to walk by. I don't want to get them on the camera.
In the top right window on the upper floor, a dark, head and shoulders silhouette appears for barely a second. No features, no movement, just a shape that fills the glass and then disappears. It happens more than once. Some viewers think it's a person standing inside, which would be the simplest explanation, except the shape doesn't behave the way a person passing a window normally does. It doesn't drift or move through the frame, it materializes and vanishes. Others think it's something that doesn't want to be seen clearly, only noticed. That distinction matters, and the fact that whoever filmed this kept the camera on that window says they thought so too. The following videos both deal with something specific and deeply unsettling. An entity that doesn't just move through a home, but borrows the identity of the person living there. In the first clip, a woman had been recording strange activity in her house for some time, describing it as a melting pot of paranormal things happening to her on a regular basis. One morning, while the house was quiet, she set her phone down near a closed interior door, a door she was nowhere near, and captured something on audio that stopped her cold. Watch.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
I think that is one of the creepiest things that I have ever caught on camera and that I have ever experienced in my life. That sounds almost identical to my voice. Like, I thought it was 100%, and then I listened back to that recording and I was like, something's off. Which is the way it goes with these things, it's always almost correct. I was careful to not respond to it, and after I took that video, I walked away and came back later. But yeah, I guess it's using my voice on me now, which is weird. If this is even the same thing, who knows? We have a melting pot of paranormal things happening in this house and to me at all times. But yeah, that was creepy. I'm so glad that I started recording because no one would believe me without that. Has anyone else ever heard their own voice? That's so weird. Like, I've heard other voices, but my own.
From behind that closed door, a disembodied female voice says, "Hey," 3 times, calm, clear, slightly echoed, as if coming from a hallway just on the other side. And according to her, it sounds almost identical to her own voice. She says she was careful not to respond to it, and you can hear in her retelling exactly how unsettled she is. What makes this harder to dismiss is the detail she added afterward. Her husband told her he'd heard the exact same thing coming from that same door the night before, and had simply ignored it. Both of them, separately, hearing what sounds like her voice calling out from a place she wasn't standing. In paranormal research and folklore alike, this falls into a category often described as mimicry, an entity that reproduces the voice, appearance, or behavior of someone familiar, typically someone who lives in the space. Some believe mimics do this to provoke a response, to get the target to answer back, or let their guard down. Others think it's something older and stranger, an intelligence that absorbs identity rather than simply copying it. The second clip pushes that idea even further. This time, a man was moving through his home at night when he turned a corner and panned his camera into an adjacent room. Watch.
Babe?
Yeah? What's up?
Are you upstairs?
Yeah? Why?
Standing completely still in the corner of the room, facing away from him, is a figure with long dark hair and a dark oversized shirt, a figure that looks exactly like his wife. He whispers her name. She answers, from a completely different floor of the house. The two of them confirm out loud, in real time, that she isn't in that room, but the figure stands there anyway. The slowed down replay makes it clearer. A distinct silhouette, motionless, positioned in the corner with its back to the camera. A doppelganger, in the original folkloric sense, is not just a look-alike. Across many European traditions, seeing a perfect double of a living person is considered a deeply ominous sign, sometimes a warning, sometimes something far more predatory attempting to pass as someone trusted. Skeptics will argue staging, and that's a fair point to raise. But the calm, muffled confirmation of the wife's voice from upstairs is the detail that's difficult to script away. 2 clips, 2 homes, 1 pattern, and neither person has figured out how to make it stop. Whatever these things are, they seem to understand exactly who they're imitating, and that alone is what makes this so hard to shake. Quick thing before we continue, all of our videos are now available on Spotify too, so if that's somewhere you already find yourself late at night, every compilation we've made is waiting there for you. Whichever way you'd rather watch, the link's in the description. Now back to the video. Now, in this next clip, someone has a wardrobe in their home that they keep tied shut with a lanyard, and at night, they decided to film what's inside it. That detail alone should give you pause. The wardrobe itself is a plain 2-door wooden armoire, nothing obviously threatening from the outside. But the fact that whoever owns this felt the need to keep it fastened closed says something. There's no explanation offered, no context given, just a tattooed hand reaching into frame, untying the lanyard and pulling the door open. Watch.
So I'm sitting here watching a movie and my cabinet yanked. Like, you can still see it moving a little bit. Like the thing I have it tied shut with, and usually it's tighter than that. And see, look, I told you. I told you something was yanking on it. And it's weird because it's been a long time since it messed with this cabinet. Hello? You want to do it again? Are you trying to get the doors open? Oh, I would take that as a yes. Hello? Is there a reason why? Did you move the door? Yo. Nah, come on, man. And my phone just glitched out, yo, at the same time.
What's inside is a dense, carefully arranged collection of porcelain dolls, clown figurines, horror books, specifically the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark series, a framed photograph of an unknown man, a red skull, a small collection of knives, and at the bottom, the box for a Ouija Junior board. The whole thing is completely silent. No reaction, no narration. Just the slow, shaky pan across row after row of glassy, unblinking doll eyes staring back at the camera. Some viewers think collections like this are harmless curiosities. Others believe that objects, especially dolls and Ouija boards, stored together in an enclosed space, can act as a kind of anchor for whatever energy they've absorbed over time. What's keeping that door tied shut? This next clip was recorded inside someone's home during the day, bright light coming through the window, a quiet living room. Nothing unusual on the surface. The man filming, a teenager or young adult, points his phone at a turned-off TV screen, using it as a mirror to show the room behind him. And that's when he notices it. Watch.
Is it? Am I tripping or is that? There's someone sitting on my couch, but like, there's no one there. What? But like, there's no one there. There's no one on the couch. Oh my God, it's gone.
In the reflection, a dark, human-shaped figure is clearly sitting upright on the couch. Distinct head, shoulders, torso, but when he pans to the actual couch, it's completely empty. When he looks back at the reflection, the figure is gone. His voice says it all. What? Then, oh my God, it's gone. Some believe what he caught is a residual apparition, an energy imprint that only registers through indirect surfaces, which would explain why it appeared in the reflection, but not in the room itself. You decide what that figure was doing on that couch, and whether it knew it had been seen. This next clip comes from a man who says his circuit breakers have been tripping almost every night, and he's got nowhere else to go. Speaking in Spanish directly to the camera, he explains the situation while moving through his home in complete darkness, the only light coming from his flashlight. Tonight he's had enough. He grabs the camera and starts recording, telling whoever's watching that this is happening to him nearly every single night, that the breakers keep cutting out, and that he has no choice but to keep living there. His voice is already strained before he's even made it down the hallway. Watch.
Chicos, comienzo a grabar. Se me acaba de apagar las palancas otra vez. Se saltaron las jodidas palancas una noche más. Me está sucediendo casi todas las noches, ¿vale? Y que tenga que seguir viviendo aquí porque no tengo dónde ir. ¿Qué cojones es eso, tío? No, 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 no. No, no, no. Voy a llamar.
As the flashlight beam sweeps right, a tall, thin, dark humanoid figure is standing completely still behind a sheer white curtain, and the moment he sees it, the footage goes chaotic. He screams, runs back down the hall, slams a door behind him, and then something on the other side of that door bangs back, hard. If you focus on those final seconds, you can hear him whimpering, breathing in pure panic, repeating that he's going to call someone, though it's unclear who he thinks can help at that hour. That figure behind the curtain is what's drawn the most attention. It's tall, unnervingly thin, and doesn't move even when the flashlight lands directly on it. Some viewers immediately connected it to what's often called a shadow person, a dark humanoid presence that many describe as featureless, motionless, and deeply aware of whoever's watching it. Others think this could be something more like a residual apparition, an energy imprinted into the space. But what nobody can explain is that bang on the door. What was standing on the other side of it? This next clip was recorded by Larissa's home security camera during the night. A static, wide-angle Xfinity camera mounted high in the corner of her living room, watching over 2 couches and a front door, while her brother slept alone inside. Larissa wasn't home, but she had access to the live feed and could speak directly into the room through the camera's 2-way audio. Her brother was deep asleep on the far couch. You can actually hear him snoring. When, at around the 1-second mark, the front door begins to swing inward, slowly and silently, all on its own. No wind, no one near it. The door drifts to about halfway open and stops there, and then the infrared light cuts out entirely for 3 seconds, plunging the room into near total darkness before flickering back on. Watch.
Yeah. What? What door? Ow. How's your door even open, Larissa? Seriously, man. How's your door even open? The door was locked. How's it even open? Fuck, man. No, I'm not doing nothing. Your cat's fucking here. I'm not doing this, dude. You should be asleep, man. You should be asleep. You should, huh? What? The cat's here, Larissa. Why is the door even fucking open? Why? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Because when I went to bed, the door was closed and locked.
Watching all of this in real time from somewhere else, starts calling through the camera, "Wake up, the door is open," and her brother stirs, confused and groggy, before walking over and closing it. What follows is the part that's hard to dismiss. He checks the door, repeats out loud that it was closed and locked when he went to bed. And when Larissa asks if he could have gotten up and opened it himself, he insists he didn't. The cat was in the room the whole time, which he points out himself. That rules out a pet nudging it. Some viewers think a pressure differential or a faulty latch could explain a slow door swing, but is that really what happened here? This next video was recorded inside what looks like someone's living room late at night. A cluttered, dimly lit space that already feels off before anything actually happens. Red string lights run down the side of a large wooden hutch, casting a warm glow over the mess on the floor, and right at the base of that hutch, a porcelain Pierrot clown doll in a gold and black outfit sits facing the hallway. Further down that hall, a pile of Raggedy Ann dolls is stacked on a chair, and through an open doorway at the far end, the back room is completely dark. The person filming holds the camera low and steady, trained on that hallway, and for nearly half a minute, nothing moves. Watch.
I don't like them footsteps, man. Especially not that bag moving. Sounded like my daughter's door. Like, nope, nope, nope. I was so focused on that noise at my daughter's door, I didn't even see that going shut. Footsteps are crazy, man. Yeah, come on, dude. I know y'all hear that whispering. Yeah, fuck footsteps, dude. Sorry for my language. I really just don't want this door shutting on my face. Get back a little bit.
I swear I keep hearing voices. Yo.
Some viewers immediately focused on the dolls, particularly the clown, and the collection of dolls. While there's no evidence that dolls themselves are paranormal, they've occupied a unique place in ghost stories for centuries. Because they resemble people without actually being alive, they've often been used in folklore as symbols of vessels, objects believed by some traditions to attract or temporarily house spiritual energy. Modern paranormal stories have only reinforced that reputation, especially when unusual activity is reported in homes where large antique doll collections are kept. Skeptics, however, point to the house itself. Older homes can carry sounds in strange ways, making footsteps from outside, neighboring rooms, or even expanding floorboards seem far closer than they really are. Whisper-like noises can also be created by distant conversations, electronics, or audio compression in low-light recordings. But you be the judge. The following video was recorded inside a small frozen yogurt shop sometime after closing by a man who'd been dealing with unexplained activity in the building for a while. Flickering lights, strange sounds, the kind of persistent low-level strangeness that you can almost convince yourself to ignore until you can't anymore. On this particular night, he and a woman he works with were still inside after hours trying to retrieve her keys from the back room, and he decided to pull his phone out and film what was happening. He mentions, almost in disbelief, that the lights had already started flickering again, and this wasn't the first time.
Okay guys, we were literally just about to leave my store when shit just started flickering again. This is the second time it's happened. My car's over there, and
I'm shaking right now.
okay, and her keys are in the bag.
We need to go. We need to go get my keys.
And the light turned on.
I don't want to go.
Okay, well, I'm gonna literally record this whole thing just so you guys can see what happened. I'm literally so scared. Okay, okay, something. The bathroom light's on too.
Bro, why are my keys on the floor? They were not there. Like, I deadass put them on the desk. Like, oh my god. What the hell?
This is literally insane.
The crash erupts out of nowhere from somewhere deeper in the building. No visible source, no explanation, and what follows is pure chaos. Both of them sprinting toward the back office in a full panic. But then they find her keys lying on the floor. She's insistent that she left them on the desk, and the man confirms he didn't see them there either. That alone is unsettling. Displaced objects are one of the most commonly reported signs of poltergeist-type activity. The kind of presence that doesn't just make noise, but physically interacts with the environment, moving things deliberately, as if to be noticed. Then, it got worse. The second clip picks up shortly after, with the two of them still inside, watching the security monitors in the back office while the cameras around the store continue to flicker. They decide they need to leave. They're already nearly an hour past closing, and as they make their way toward the exit, something comes flying out of the darkness right past the camera. Watch.
Okay guys, we've been sitting in the back for like 20 minutes now, and we're just watching the cameras, and stuff is still flickering and going on, but nothing happened back here, and we need to go home, and this is so freaking terrifying.
We're 50 minutes past our shift because of this shit.
We closed at 10, so we need to like, it's so dark because all the light switches are over here.
Stop it, stop it. Oh, fuck.
Okay, this is what I mean. This room is over. This is.
Oh my god.
This is what we're dealing with.
Oh my god, yo, what the bro, Nick, did you this on purpose?
No,
I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, Nick.
Stop! You're literally. Are you?
No, wait, no. Nah.
No. We literally looked away for like 2 seconds.
You can see it cut through the frame before clattering off screen, and both of them bolt straight for the door. The nervous laughter outside is the kind that comes when you're too shaken to process what just happened any other way. But the most unsettling detail comes when he turns the camera back through the glass front door. Two metal chairs that were upright moments earlier are now tipped over on the floor, and neither of them touched them. He says he only looked away for a few seconds. Poltergeist cases like this one tend to follow a pattern where the activity doesn't just repeat, it escalates, becoming more physical and more direct over time, as though whatever is present is testing how much it can do before someone finally leaves. He says he's planning to do an overnight stay to try to make contact. What do you think will happen if he does? This next video was recorded inside a family home using two mounted security cameras, one in a bedroom, one in the dining room, and the footage spans two separate dates in February of 2026, both captured in the early hours of the morning. In the bedroom clip, recorded just after 2 a.m., an older woman, a younger woman, and a child are all asleep, completely still. Nothing in the room is moving. Listen closely. A quiet, disembodied male-sounding voice is heard whispering a name, Naneng, into a room where everyone is asleep. Then in the dining room, footage recorded just after 5 a.m., the same kind of voice speaks again in an empty room, saying the name Len, seconds before a teenage girl walks out of a hallway door on her own. And back in the bedroom, at the exact same timestamp, the voice speaks once more, this time with what sounds like a questioning inflection, calling out while the entire family remains completely unconscious. So if you listen carefully, something is calling their names, and not one of them heard it. Now in this next clip, a man is walking through a large concrete drainage tunnel, the kind covered in graffiti, with a shallow stream running along the floor, when something in the darkness ahead stops him cold. He'd gone in alone, recording on his phone, moving through the echoing pipe with nothing but the ambient glow of his camera lighting the way. The tunnel stretched ahead of him, dark and narrow, and for a moment everything seemed quiet. Then, at around the 15-second mark, a sharp metallic clicking sound echoes out from somewhere deep in the darkness. He stops walking. He calls out, "Watch."
What the hell? Hello?
What answers him back isn't a person. A low, guttural sound, somewhere between a growl and a distorted whisper, rolls back through the tunnel in response to his voice. And then, as his eyes adjust to the darkness, you can make out the shape standing at the far end. Tall, impossibly thin, 2 points of white light where the eyes should be. The enhanced replay at the end makes it even harder to dismiss. The figure's limbs are long and spindly, its skin pale and gaunt, and it stands completely motionless right up until the moment it lunges and lets out a sustained, piercing shriek that sounds nothing like a human being. He runs. A lot of viewers immediately called it a crawler, a modern internet label for pale, thin, humanoid figures, reported in isolated tunnels and underground spaces, usually described by their unnatural proportions and the way they move. Others think the glowing eyes point to something else entirely, something that doesn't fit neatly into any category. Skeptics argue it could be a person with a torch, but that explanation gets harder to hold onto when you hear what came out of that tunnel. So what exactly was standing in the dark, waiting? The following video was recorded inside a 1920s home during the daytime, which, honestly, makes it harder to dismiss than most. The man filming had been upstairs watching TV when he heard a banging sound coming from the living room below. He says there's nobody else in the house. As he makes his way down the stairs and through the hallway, past taxidermy, Venetian masks, old framed pictures, and a crucifix on the wall, he mentions that some of his haunted objects from a previous home are now kept here, though nothing has ever happened with them. He calls out into the empty rooms, no response, just the steady ticking of a grandfather clock and the feeling that something is waiting. Watch.
It's banging in the living room. There's nobody else in the house. I've just been upstairs watching TV. Some of my old haunted objects from the old house are in here, but nothing's ever happened. Hello? Hello? Oh! Whoa! Shit. Oh my god. What? What the hell? Whoa, I'm not staying in there. Oh my god. Oh, it's even colder in here. What is that noise? Hello? Oh my god. Well, it looks like my objects are back at it again, doesn't it? What the hell? What the hell now? I am getting out of here. What the hell?
Two events hit almost back to back. A taxidermy bird on the fireplace mantel flaps its wings suddenly, then the door slams shut on its own with a heavy metallic crash. Then in the dining room, a chair is violently thrown backward across the floor. He screams. He's done. If you look at how quickly these events escalate, bird, door, chair, all within about a minute, it fits a pattern that paranormal researchers often describe as poltergeist behavior, where physical objects are moved or thrown with what seems like deliberate, escalating force. The term poltergeist comes from the German for noisy ghost, and what makes these cases distinct is the physical aggression, not just shadows or sounds, but objects acting against gravity. Skeptics will say the taxidermy bird could be mechanical, that the door and chair could be rigged, but his reaction, the shaky hands, the swearing, the decision to just leave, that's difficult to fake convincingly. He even notes a second chair had shifted by the time he looked back. So what set it all off? Now in this next clip, a man is filming inside his home just 3 days after losing his brother Chris. And what you're about to witness isn't terrifying, so much as it is deeply unsettling in a quiet, personal way. He's moving through a dimly lit room at night, emotional but calm, speaking directly to his brother's presence as if Chris might actually be listening. At one point, he stops the camera on a child's plastic toy kitchen set sitting against the wall, green and white, completely still. He asks softly, "Is that you, Chris? Do it again. Watch."
That's you, Chris. Do it again. I feel your presence, bro. I feel your presence. Do it again. Holy shitballs.
What did I miss?
The burner on the toy stove lights up with a flashing red glow and emits an electronic sizzling sound. Then, after it goes quiet, he says it again. Do it again, and the toy activates a second time, this time playing a completely different sound sequence. Many people who've experienced grief report moments exactly like this one, where an object associated with family or routine seems to respond at just the right moment. Others think the timing is too precise to dismiss. You decide. This next video was recorded inside a cluttered garage, filmed by a man who had been about to lock up for the night when something stopped him. He claims that just before he started recording, he heard a laugh coming from the back of the garage. Not a voice, not a knock, but a laugh. And he describes it as the most unnerving, weird laugh he's ever heard, seeming to come from somewhere near one of the riding mowers. So instead of leaving, he pulled out his phone and started moving through the space, sweeping the light across the concrete floor, the shelves, the equipment, trying to find any explanation for what he'd just heard. He hadn't found anything yet. Watch.
Alright, so I was just closing this up. Like just locking it up to head out. And I closed the bay and I was closing this door. I shut the lights off, getting ready to close this door, and heard, I swear, I heard a laugh. And it was the most unnerving, and it was such a weird laugh. It sounded like it was coming from that back mower, like something was sitting on that back mower. I should have just left. I should have left it alone. I don't even know what that was, where it came from, where it went. but I'm not sticking around to find out, so I'm out of here. Screw this. I'm out of here. I am not sticking around.
A sudden, sharp metallic crash explodes off-screen with enough force to make him physically flinch, and when he swings the light toward the source, there's nothing there. No fallen object, no obvious cause, nothing on the floor that wasn't there before. His voice afterward is shaky, and you can hear him repeating that he should have just left, that he doesn't know where the sound came from or where it went. Some think residual energy in cluttered, closed-off spaces can build tension and release it violently, almost like pressure finding an outlet. And the laugh he heard before he even started filming, that detail is hard to shake. What exactly was waiting for him in that garage? This next clip was recorded by a woman at night, sitting in her car, describing something she'd witnessed inside her home. And what makes it so hard to dismiss is the detail she kept coming back to. She explains that on the same day she played Surah al-Baqarah, one of the most protective recitations in Islamic tradition, through the house, she passed by her children's room and noticed one of the toys doing something she couldn't explain. Her daughter's Peppa Pig stuffed toy lying on the bed. Watch.
I put Baqarah on my house. That same day, I am just passing by my kid's room, and basically I see one of the toys doing this. Now, when I first saw it, I thought, are you really seeing things? Because ain't no way that thing is moving its eyes. There is no way it's moving its eyes. Does that make sense? No, it does not. This is your child's little toy that they always love and sleep with. My daughter loves it. That thing is her life, okay? My daughter and that monkey chump are the same. She loves that little toy. So I'm like, ain't no way. It has to be my eyes. So I'm looking at it. My son comes. He's also looking at it. Both of us are like, looking at each other. We're like, oh, I don't know, let's use the camera. And then we use the camera and we see for our eyes. First time in real life, this toy was moving its eyes. What could it be? What do you guys think it is? Do you think it's jinn?
If you look closely, the toy's plastic eye slowly rotates upward, turning, according to her, to look directly at the camera. She says she thought her eyes were playing tricks on her at first, so she called her son over, and both of them stood there watching it together before deciding to film it. Many in the Muslim community watching this immediately pointed to jinn, supernatural beings described in Islamic tradition as created from smokeless fire, capable of inhabiting objects, invisible to the naked eye, but very much present. Jinn aren't considered innately evil, but certain ones are believed to attach to children's belongings specifically. She ends the clip asking the audience the same question she still can't answer herself. What do you think it is? The following video was recorded by a man who had recently moved into an old house built back in 1912, a property with enough history behind it to already make him uneasy before anything strange even started happening. According to him, the previous tenant had suddenly left without much explanation, and after settling in, he began experiencing odd disturbances throughout the house that pushed him into researching the property's past. During a late-night spirit box session, one word reportedly kept coming through over and over again: fire. After digging deeper, he discovered that the basement of the house had been the site of an accidental fire sometime around 1965, a detail that suddenly made the atmosphere in the home feel a lot heavier. Then one night, while standing in a lit room looking down a dark hallway, he caught this on camera. Watch.
Look, it's my hand.
At the far end of the hallway, a guitar begins to sway on its own, slowly at first, before the movement starts growing stronger. Skeptics pointed toward possible drafts or airflow as the most logical explanation. But what unsettled viewers was how the motion seemed to build, almost like something unseen kept interacting with it. Paranormal theories surrounding old homes often connect fires to lingering energy, especially when the event was sudden or traumatic. Some believe places marked by tragedy can hold on to fragments of that moment for decades, replaying themselves through unexplained sounds, movement, or disturbances tied to certain parts of the house. And considering the repeated mention of fire during the spirit box session, many viewers think whatever is in that hallway may be connected to what happened in the basement all those years ago. Whatever started the movement, he never found the source. In this next clip, someone is walking through a property called the Green Manor, an old house with narrow winding staircases, dark reddish walls, a library with built-in shelves, and an upstairs room lined with antique dolls. And from the moment they point the camera at a teal wooden door in the hallway, something feels off. The door is slightly ajar, and the vintage oval doorknob on its brass backplate just sits there, still and quiet, the way doorknobs are supposed to. But then it starts to move. Watch. The knob jiggles, turns clockwise, and a sharp metallic click rings out as the latch fully disengages and the door swings open on its own. Nobody's on the other side. The person filming then pushes through, climbs the creaking staircase, and when they reach the top, they pan into a side room where a full church pew is lined end to end with at least a dozen porcelain dolls just sitting there, staring. Some people who've seen this footage think the doorknob moment is consistent with what's sometimes called a residual haunting, the idea that a location can essentially record repeated actions, like opening a door, and replay them without any conscious intent behind them. Others think something at the Green Manor is far more aware than that, pointing to the way the latch fully releases, a deliberate mechanical sequence, not just a rattle. Whether it's residual energy or something with intention, you be the judge. In this next clip, a family arrives at what looks like a spacious hotel suite. A large, well-lit room with high vaulted ceilings, a stone fireplace, a loft area, and a balcony with plenty of natural light coming through. Nothing about the space looks threatening, But the moment they reach the doorway of room 24, something happens that none of them were prepared for. Watch.
Come on, Mama!
Oh, she don't like this one. Wasn't expecting that. Dang, Big Mama. Is there something in here? We rebuke it, Kai Kai. We rebuke it. She said, Yeah. Yeah. It's shit on the toilet.
That's where you and Dad sleeping?
Mm-hmm.
I'll get that good.
There's nothing.
What?
Close it. I'll pull out bed. This is so nice.
You welcome. I hope y'all like it. I hope y'all got some energy because we're gonna be up all night.
She immediately starts screaming, "No," crying loudly, and pulling away from the room, and she doesn't stop for the entire clip. What makes this so hard to dismiss is that the girl didn't calm down. There's a belief, fairly common in paranormal communities, that young children, especially toddlers, are far more sensitive to presence than adults because they haven't yet learned to rationalize away what they're feeling. You decide what that little girl was sensing at that doorway. Now in this next clip, a man is out in his shed during the day working on tools when he notices something that stops him cold. A sound coming from a dark attic space above a storage closet he says he's never once been up into. He grabs his phone and starts filming himself, panning the camera around the cluttered shed before pulling open a narrow closet door to show what's inside. Listen closely.
Me or not, I don't care, but listen to this. I'm out in the shed working on tools. Listen. Dude, I swear to God, there's something up in this attic, man. I'm not getting up in here and shit. Do you hear that? Dude, oh my God, bro. Oh my God, man. There's something in this neighborhood, dude. Oh my God. Dude, I don't know what to do in a situation like this. Do you hear this shit, man? This thing was built before I bought this house, man. I've never gone up here one time. What the fuck was that, man? There's stuff left from the previous owner. Oh my God, dude. Oh.
If you listen closely, you'll hear a baby crying, and it happens not once but multiple times, getting clearer and closer each time. The man's reactions are hard to fake. He slams the door, shouts, opens it again, keeps asking if you can hear it too. Then, when he finally works up the nerve to climb the ladder and hold the camera up into that dark space, the last sound he catches, right before the camera drops, is a clean, unmistakable cry of a baby coming from somewhere deep in that darkness. Some viewers think he has squatters in there, which, honestly, isn't impossible. Whatever was up there, he didn't stick around long enough to find out. So what do you think was making that sound? Now in this next clip, a paranormal investigator from Lakeshore Paranormal is in the basement of an old property at night, standing beneath a single bare bulb that cuts harsh shadows across the cinder block walls and exposed ceiling joists. He's got a spirit box scanning in one hand and what appears to be a detection device in the other, the constant static of the scanner cycling through frequencies filling the silence around him. He glances around the space, listening, waiting. Watch.
Not gonna leave until you give me a sign.
Movement back there. Shadow. Shadow like came out from the where the heater is and went back the other way. I got it on video. You can see it. It was short. It was just like a shadow that came out from there.
Are you down here?
A shadow moved from right to left. What immediately sparked debate online was the way the figure seemed to move with shape and direction, not like a flicker of light or camera distortion, but like something physically crossing. Some viewers argued it could simply be a reflection caused by someone walking past a nearby window, but according to the investigators, they were completely alone on the property that night, with no one else inside or outside the building during the investigation. So if no one else was on that property that night, then what exactly walked behind him? Now, in this next clip, someone is moving through a pitch-black house in the middle of the night, using nothing but a flashlight to cut through the darkness ahead of him. According to him, before he even started recording, he had already been hearing strange noises somewhere deeper inside the house, sounds unusual enough that he decided to grab his camera and trace where they were coming from. At first, he expected to find something simple, maybe a window left open, or an animal moving around inside the walls. But instead, he found this. Watch.
Right. Second date. It's been okay so far, but... What? This is what I mean. Crazy shit. Is it like... Hello? Oh my Oh shit. Phone's upstairs. Oh my I'm leaving lights on. Look at this. I swear to right. Oh shit. Right. I need to go.
The lights suddenly begin flickering violently, throwing unstable flashes across the hallway, and just as he turns toward the staircase, something can be seen moving on the stairs, a dark shape shifting in the shadows before disappearing again. Some viewers believe the flickering lights could point toward electrical issues in an older property, but others focused entirely on the figure near the staircase, especially because in many old traditions, spirits or entities were said to linger near staircases because they symbolized movement between worlds, especially in darkened homes where visibility is limited and the human mind struggles to fully process shapes in shadow. So what do you think was waiting at the top of those stairs? The following video was recorded inside a home that's over 100 years old. using an old camera set up by a young man who was home alone and had noticed something he couldn't explain. Every time he left the room to vacuum, he'd come back and find the same bifold closet door standing wide open. No one else in the house, no obvious draft, nothing to account for it. So instead of just closing it again and moving on, he propped the camera on the floor, pointed it at the door, and went back to his vacuuming. The clip is silent, and that silence is part of what makes it so unsettling. Watch. The right panel of that bifold door begins to move, slowly, steadily, swinging open at a pace that feels almost deliberate, folding back until the closet is fully exposed. No one enters the frame, there's no rush of air, no person, no visible string or mechanism. If you watch the door's movement carefully, you'll notice it doesn't jerk or stutter the way a draft might cause. It moves with a kind of even, unhurried intention that's harder to dismiss. Some viewers familiar with residual haunting theory think older homes can develop patterns of repeated activity tied to whatever energy accumulated there over decades. But you be the judge. Now in this next clip, a man had been sitting alone at his kitchen table, reading from the Bible, not casually, but deliberately, the way someone does when they're trying to hold something back. He had a rosary laid out in front of him, a crucifix, and a small bottle of holy water. He says he picks up regularly from his local Catholic church. He mentions to the camera that he isn't feeling well, and before he starts reading, he anoints his forehead with the holy water and makes the sign of the cross. There's a weight to how he's going through these steps. Like a ritual, he's performed enough times that it's become routine rather than ceremonial. He settles in and begins reading aloud from Psalms 37, verses 3 through 11. Scripture about trust, about dwelling safely, about what faith is supposed to protect you from. But midway through the reading, something happened. Watch.
Inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked should be no more. Indeed, you will. Holy. Bro. That just closed. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Any demon in my office, evacuate now. Look. Look. That's my magic hat. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. And my attic is closed. See? Huh. And it literally dropped my hat. That is crazy. You see, guys? This is what I gotta go through daily. Like literally, daily I gotta go through this crap. I'm so fed up with it.
The door in the background slams shut with a sharp, violent bang. What's harder to dismiss is what he finds on the other side. A baseball cap lying face down on the floor just inside the doorway, which he claims was not there before. He picks it up, shows the camera the front, and says the entity dropped it. He calls his attic door out specifically, showing it secured with multiple slide locks, as if that detail is meant to explain something he doesn't want to say out loud. He ends the clip looking straight into the camera, exhausted, and says this is what he goes through daily. For those familiar with spiritual warfare theology, a violent physical reaction during scripture reading is considered significant. It's interpreted not as random haunting activity, but as direct interference, a presence responding to being named. So what was in that room with him? The following video was recorded somewhere beneath what appears to be an abandoned industrial building. No voices, no footsteps, no sound at all. Just the slow drift of the lens through deep shadow, past a low brick wall, and down a long corridor, toward a faint greenish light in the far distance. Nothing seemed out of place at first. Watch.
Is your name Leroy? Dude, I just heard something from like another room. I heard something back that way. Dude, you hear that talking? You hear that? I hear a man's voice. Somebody might call us here, dude. Ooh, what was that? Ooh, what was that?
There, between two of the support pillars, a tall, slender shape stands completely still, dark, undefined, blending almost entirely into the surrounding blackness. If you look closely, you'll notice it has a distinctly humanoid silhouette, but no discernible features whatsoever. Some viewers think it's a shadow person, a type of entity described across dozens of independent accounts as a tall, featureless, dark presence that appears briefly and then simply vanishes. Others think it's pareidolia, the brain forcing a human shape out of low-light geometry, and the footage is ambiguous enough that neither explanation fully wins. Now, in this next clip, a demolition crew in Adelaide, South Australia, was tearing down the old Royal Adelaide Hospital when one of them started noticing things that didn't quite fit the job. The building had already been stripped back, corridors cluttered with debris bags, walls scarred from demolition work, the kind of place that feels emptied out but somehow not quite vacant. A friend of the filmer was part of the crew and captured this footage on a handheld camera, pointing down one of the dimly lit hallways toward a set of double doors, one of them covered with a semi-transparent plastic sheet. Something behind that plastic catches the eye immediately. Watch.
And there's no cunt behind there, right?
I'm staring there the whole
Yeah, fuck. It's gotta be some reason for it, eh? What are all these?
There's no one walking past that door.
Yeah, let's see.
Hey?
No, it's there again, dude. I'm filming it, eh?
Look down.
You alright, mate?
Oh, King is right.
Last time I was standing here by myself. Wouldn't you just freak, eh?
Yeah, dude, that's what.
I thought it was like someone joking around.
No, I'm glad it did that.
Oh!
Why is it this above that line?
Can you explain that? There's no one on there. What the f? Doesn't make any sense, man. And look at all this shit like in the air.
Looks like I see an arm going across that just now.
Behind the sheeting, a dark, amorphous shadow moves from right to left. Subtle, but there. Then a second shape appears, slightly more defined, holding position on the left side of the door. When the man in the full orange hazmat suit walks down the corridor to check what's behind the door, he finds nothing. The room on the other side, according to the footage, was an operating room, and it was empty. What makes this harder to dismiss is that the Royal Adelaide Hospital had been associated with paranormal reports for years before demolition even began, with staff and visitors describing strange shadows and unexplained figures throughout the building. Some believe that spirits tied to places of suffering, death, and trauma don't simply leave when the walls come down, and that the demolition itself may have stirred something. Where do you think they go when the building is finally gone? This next video was recorded inside what appears to be a long, dark hallway at nighttime, a corridor lined with wood-paneled walls and repeating archways that recede deeper and deeper into shadow, the kind of space that already feels wrong before anything happens in it. The artificial overhead lighting casts a warm, yellowish glow along the upper walls, but the far end of the hallway stays completely dark, like whatever's down there isn't meant to be seen. No one filmed this. No one was standing at the other end. Watch. Just beyond the first archway, a faint whitish-grey mist drifts smoothly from right to left across the corridor and vanishes into the shadows in under 2 seconds. Some viewers think it's a dust particle or lens artifact. and with footage this blurred, that's genuinely hard to rule out. Others believe it's something else entirely. What do you think was moving through that hallway? In this next video, a father had been growing increasingly concerned about his young daughter's behavior. At first, it seemed harmless enough. Like many children her age, she would spend long periods talking to someone nobody else could see, pausing as if she were listening to responses, laughing at jokes that no one had told, and occasionally looking toward empty corners of the room as though another child were standing there with her. Naturally, her father assumed it was an imaginary friend, until it stopped being a case of a child talking to something invisible. It became a case of something responding. Watch.
Miren hasta el final. Esto es una cosa muy loca lo que pasa acá, cerca de mi barrio, a la vuelta de mi casa. Bueno, mi hija se ve que tiene un amigo invisible, porque ustedes miren. Váyale, decirle que traiga el coche. Decirle que traiga el coche, decirle. Le dice que traiga el coche.
¡Dale el coche!
¡Ah! No.
In the video, the father challenges the situation directly. He asks his daughter to tell her imaginary friend to move the walker, and it did. One of the oldest paranormal beliefs surrounding children is the idea that they may be more sensitive to things adults no longer notice. Across countless cultures, there are stories claiming that young children can see spirits, entities, or presences that become inaccessible as people grow older. Whether that's folklore, superstition, or something else entirely is impossible to prove, but stories like this continue to fuel the belief. Some viewers suggested the child may have unknowingly formed a connection with a spirit. Others went much further, warning that not everything presenting itself as a child's friend has good intentions. What do you think? The following video was captured by a man doing what appears to be a late-night walkthrough of an empty industrial building. Service corridors, loading bays, the kind of place that feels unsettling even when nothing's happening. He moves through a series of narrow hallways, lit by fluorescent overhead lights, past recycling signs and yellow safety markings, before pushing through a plastic strip curtain into a vast, dimly lit loading dock below. Concrete pillars, orange industrial lights, long shadows stretching across the floor. The space is completely deserted, and from the moment the clip begins, there's already something deeply wrong, because a loud, continuous, high-pitched alarm tone is ringing out through the entire area with no clear origin. He pans the camera across the empty dock, taking in the loading bays and the grimy walls, and you can feel the tension building. Watch.
Oh, shit. Who's there?
still hasn't gotten over that scream, and from the look of things, something knew he was there and reacted. Liminal spaces like loading docks and service corridors have developed their own folklore online in recent years, described as places that exist between destinations, spaces no one is supposed to linger in, and that in some accounts are thought to attract residual energy or presences tied to the labor and isolation those spaces carry. The second clip takes that atmosphere even further. The person filming moves through another service corridor in what appears to be the same building, pulling aside a mold-stained plastic curtain before walking slowly down a narrow passage with concrete walls and warm yellow overhead light. Listen closely. If you look at the top right corner, you'll see a humanoid figure hanging. After he shared the footage, many people immediately connected the figure to the scream captured earlier. Some speculated that whatever produced that sound may have been the same presence now appearing in the corridor. Of course, skeptics argue that the figure could be an illusion created by shadows, pipes, hanging material, or the low image quality of the footage. But for those who believe the scream and the figure are connected, that's a difficult explanation to accept. Now in this next clip, a man is working the night shift alone at a dark industrial factory, his first night on the job, when something stops him cold in one of the long corridors. He's moving through the building with a flashlight, checking doors, narrating to himself the way people do when they're trying not to feel uneasy about being completely alone in a space that large. You can hear it in his voice, that thin attempt at casual conversation with no one in particular. He makes his way down a long, empty hallway, concrete floor, exposed beams above, sparse lights doing almost nothing against the dark, and announces out loud that he's there by himself. Watch.
One more door. Yeah, this one's heavy. I'm here, all by myself.
At the far end of the hallway, a figure with long dark hair briefly peeks around the corner, just for a moment. What makes the sighting so unsettling is the timing. The figure appears immediately after he acknowledges that he's alone, almost as though something heard him and decided to respond. Whether that's coincidence or not, it's the detail that viewers keep coming back to. Many people compared the figure to one of the most common apparitions reported in industrial locations and abandoned buildings, the peeking ghost. Unlike full-bodied apparitions that stand openly in view, these sightings are often described as figures that watch from doorways, corners, stairwells, and hallways, revealing only part of themselves before quickly retreating from sight. Factories can be especially fertile ground for stories like these. Decades of accidents, overnight shifts, injuries, and constant human activity often leave behind local legends among workers. In many places, night shift employees pass down stories about figures seen in corridors, shadows standing near machinery, or unexplained encounters that only seem to happen after everyone else has gone home. Now, in this next clip, a man is spending a quiet night at home with his young son, the kind of ordinary evening where the biggest concern should be which action figure wins the fight. But something on the porch keeps pulling his attention back, and when it happens a second time, with his son sitting right there in the room, he doesn't hesitate for a second. Watch.
Se movió la silla. No mames. Hijo. Vente. Salte. ¿Ahí estás, hijo? Sí. A ver. Te voy a echarte un ojito, papi. Quiero jugar contigo. Pero se pelean, papi. Sí. Ay, no. A ver. ¿Quién es el superhéroe y quién es el villano? Cuéntame, porque yo no sé.
Mira, este es el superhéroe. Y este es el villano.
No mames. No mames, viste. Vete para acá, Se movió la silla. No mames. Hijo. Vente. Salte. Vámonos. Salte. Mierda. No mames. ¿Qué pedo? Vente, hijo. Vente, agarra tus cosas. Vámonos de aquí. Vámonos, vete por la casa. Ahorita jugamos acá adentro, ¿sí? Es que se movieron las cosas. Métete, papi. Métete.
A white metal rocking chair on the porch begins moving on its own. No breeze, no one nearby, nothing physically touching it. The man grabs his son and gets him out immediately. Some viewers immediately pointed to a poltergeist-type presence, entities associated with kinetic disturbances, objects moving without contact, often described as being drawn to spaces where children are present. Others weren't ready to go that far, arguing the chair could have been disturbed by uneven flooring or a vibration from inside the house. But if you watch the second movement closely, the chair doesn't drift or wobble. It pushes forward with force, at a moment when the house is otherwise completely still. What's harder to dismiss is the pattern, the same object, the same location, twice in one night, and both times right when the man and his son were nearby. Whether something in that house was reacting to them or simply didn't want them there is a question the father clearly couldn't wait around to answer. The following video was recorded by Ben Bauer and Zach Bryant, who returned to an abandoned factory they had previously explored, a place already surrounded by disturbing rumors, including reports of paranormal activity in a history tied to tragic events, including suicides that many believe may have left something lingering inside the structure. As they approach the building, preparing to enter, something immediately feels off. Watch.
Of course there's energy walking up together. That's a door switch. That's footsteps down the stairs. That's going down the stairs. That was too cunt. Hello? Hello? Zach. Oh my god. That was walking down. It was. Hello? That's it. No, that's walking. Bro, get out. Right, no, that's walking.
Before they even make their way inside, they begin hearing footsteps, clear and deliberate, as if someone is already moving around inside, despite the building being completely abandoned. Eventually, they find a way into the building, pushing further inside to investigate, but the deeper they go, the more the atmosphere begins to shift. Strange noises begin to surface, subtle at first, then harder to ignore. Watch.
I didn't hear anything.
Check the footage when we get out of our...
Oh, what the
can't remember if things were like this when we were here.
No, I don't think it will.
Bro, look at the water. That was mumbling. I just said,
Yeah.
Oh, I got it on camera. Bro. I'm getting it on camera. What is that walking? Something's mumbling. Can you hear it? Is it? Bro. Oh. Bro. I feel like someone is here. Yeah, very loud. Wait. Don't you know?
They call out, trying to confirm if someone else is inside, repeating themselves, waiting for any kind of response. But the silence that follows feels just as unsettling as the sounds themselves, because whatever is there doesn't answer. It only listens, and that's when they make a decision that many viewers immediately questioned. Instead of backing out, they decide to provoke a response. They bring out a Ouija board. Watch.
Feel that heat as you walk up.
Oh yeah. I reckon do the Ouija board in this room. Yeah, this looks. Knocking? Yeah. It sounds like boom boom. That was knocking.
Was it?
Bro. Are there any spirits here with us tonight? Move to yes. There it is again. There it is again. What the f*** is that? Bro, that was down in here. I can tell. Hello?
Using a Ouija board in a location already tied to death and heavy history is something many consider extremely risky, because rather than simply observing, it opens the door to interaction, inviting anything present to respond, to engage, to make itself known more directly. And almost immediately, something does. They begin to hear movement again, but this time, it's different. The sound of something running up the stairs, not walking, but running towards them. They didn't stay to find out what it was, and honestly, it's hard to blame them, because when something starts moving toward you in a place that should be empty after you've actively tried to make contact, instinct takes over. Most of us wouldn't have waited either. This next clip centers around a moment that likely would have been dismissed instantly if not for one thing: the camera capturing it in real time. A young boy in a wheelchair is moving through what appears to be a quiet area, casually recording, with nothing unusual happening at first. Nothing that would make anyone expect what's about to appear. Watch. At first glance, everything seems normal, but when you look at the mirror behind him, a white figure is seen moving. Some viewers believe this could be a classic apparition, a presence that doesn't fully manifest in the physical space, but becomes visible through reflective surfaces, something that has been reported in various paranormal accounts, where mirrors seem to act as a kind of window rather than just a reflection. Without this footage, without that one moment captured in the mirror, this would have remained just another story no one believed, something easily brushed off or ignored. But now there's something to look at, something to question, and something that still hasn't been explained. Now in this next clip, a man and a woman had just finished saging their home and decided to go live on social media with a group of friends. Something that started as an informal spiritual cleansing, but quickly turned into something neither of them was prepared for. The house was completely dark, the only light coming from the glowing ember of the sage and a small blue electronic light nearby. And the mood, at first, was relatively calm. The man even says on camera that he doesn't feel anything dark in the room, but then the sound started. Watch.
I don't feel anything dark in here. Do you? No. It's probably because we're not like. Please leave. Or get out of here. You're not welcome here. Oh my God. Gotta leave. Should I say Jesus?
Yeah, I don't even know at this point.
We have Jesus here with the... Where's my keys? Okay, let's go. You go first. Go. Look where Look where it's at now. It's behind the couch. Y'all see that? It's behind the couch. Look where it's at, in front of the mirror. Look. See the mirror? It's in front of the mirror now. Turn all the lights on. Turn that light on over there too. I'll turn it on.
A sharp metallic clatter at first, almost dismissible, followed by an extremely violent crash, erupting from somewhere off camera, loud enough to make him yell out and grip the phone. He held his ground, addressing whatever was in the room directly, telling it to leave, even asking if he should call on the name of Jesus. And then, mid-sentence, a heavy thump cut him off entirely. That second sound, the one that interrupted him, sent him running. Both of them left the house for over an hour. But here's the thing, when they came back and unlocked the door, the sage stick, which had been sitting near the blue light in the center of the room, was no longer there. If you look carefully at where it's glowing, you can see it's now positioned near the mirror. Some believe this is a direct response to the spiritual cleansing, that invoking protection, especially through religious invocation, provoked a reaction rather than resolved one. Others think the object moving is the more unsettling detail, because it suggests something wasn't just making noise, it was interacting. So what do you think moved it? The following video was recorded by two employees, a man and a woman, working a closing shift alone at what appears to be a commercial food service location, the kind of place where most people are gone by a certain hour and whoever's left behind is completely on their own. According to the man, who started filming almost immediately after it happened, the two of them had walked into the walk-in freezer during their shift when the door simply stopped opening. No mechanical warning, no explanation, just a sealed exit and the ambient hum of industrial refrigeration. Watch.
We're the only two on shift and we are trapped inside. Literally push. Okay.
Oh my God, stop.
See?
No!
We are, oh wow, it's real dark.
Oh my God.
We are literally trapped in the walk-in.
Ready?
Look. Push hard, push hard.
I am. Oh my gosh.
So, this is what the spirits do in this store. I can't breathe. Okay. So, I'm out of breath. Am I that out of shape? Spirit, is there a reason that you're doing this right now? Did we do something to upset you? It is so cold.
I'm freezing.
Okay, so this is some of the stuff that happens. So we're just gonna wait until it's done.
The man presses his full body weight against that large, grey, insulated door, and it doesn't budge. And then the overhead light shuts off entirely, leaving the two of them in the dark with only the woman's phone flashlight cutting through the cold air, their breath visible as vapor, and 6 rapid knocks echoing from somewhere they can't identify. He addresses the darkness directly, asking the spirit whether they'd done something to upset it, and the almost casual way he says it, like he's had this kind of conversation before, is what makes the moment feel less like a stunt and more like something these two already half expected. What's harder to dismiss is the sequence of that knocking, because it didn't come from the door they were pushing against. It came from somewhere else inside that enclosed space, and by the time they share that nervous laugh at the end of the clip, nearly every viewer in the comments had stopped treating it as a coincidence. In the next footage, things don't calm down, they get more structured. Watch.
It's 4:58. We're gonna call another employee and try to get him to come in if this doesn't open in time.
You better pick up. I'm so cold.
Every time we tap. Wait. What if I tap 3? Now you won't flicker the light? Really? Hello? Oh, okay.
What the hell? Oh my god. What the fuck?
It's getting so cold that my hands are pruning. This is good. Can you flicker the light if you are upset? Can you... I don't even know what to ask.
Can you put...
And this knob? Oh, whoa.
What the hell?
Doesn't even do anything.
The light fixture begins responding directly and immediately to what's being said, flickering off the moment the man asks it to, turning back on when he goes quiet, and the woman's reactions, the sharp gasps, the what the hell, the genuine disbelief in her voice, don't read like performance. They read like someone who keeps expecting a rational explanation and keeps not finding one. When a haunting manifests through light rather than shadow, some paranormal researchers describe it as a lower energy presence, something that can't yet move physical objects, but can draw from electrical current, a theory sometimes connected to poltergeist behavior in its earlier stages, where the entity builds from small disturbances toward larger ones. Skeptics would point to a faulty ballast or a worn electrical contact inside the fixture, and honestly, that explanation holds right up until the moment the light responds to a specific question in under a second. Then it gets worse. Watch.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Is there a reason that you have us in the walk-in?
What? Oh my...
What time is it now? We have been in here for like 15 minutes total. Maybe like 11.
Holy shit.
Can you please let us out, Spirit? Is Dan on his way?
I called him. Yeah, he said he's coming now.
Okay. So I'm gonna literally go back here to the back of the walk-in so the fan's not blowing on me. Can you show my arm?
Literally,
I'm like
my hands are freezing.
pruning from the cold. That's how long we've been in here. Oh. I have goosebumps. Just flickering. Oh.
Oh, okay.
Nope, that didn't work. I'm not understanding. Oh my god.
They ask the spirit directly whether it has a reason for keeping them inside, and the light flashes on in what feels like an answer, then later flickers erratically, while a cardboard box launches off the top shelf with a force that sends both of them into genuine panic. That box didn't slide. It came off with momentum, and the timing, right as the light was going haywire, and one of them said, "I don't understand this," makes the sequence hard to chalk up to vibration or uneven shelving. Some people watching these clips have started using the term poltergeist, which comes from the German words for noisy ghost, and traditionally describes an entity associated with physical disturbances, thrown objects, slamming doors, disrupted electricity, often linked in folklore to emotionally charged environments, or, in some traditions, to a specific living person in the space acting as an unwitting focal point. Whether that framework fits here is something you'd have to decide for yourself. The escalation continues into the next clip, and this is where it crosses into something more physical. Watch.
Oh my god! Okay, okay, I'm back under here.
The light's like off now.
I know. I don't understand what we did. Can you just let us out? Like, it's so stupid. Okay, great. Thank you for that. Is there a reason that we're in here?
Is that like a yes?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Okay, so... Okay.
Oh.
We honestly don't know what's going on, and it's just flickering. Oh!
Oh, okay.
Nope, that didn't work. I'm not understanding. Oh my god! Okay, Spirit! Okay. Just wait, relax.
After the light responds again to a direct question, the woman saying, "That was a yes," when it flickers, the man reaches up and actually tries to unscrew the cover of the light fixture, seemingly trying to find a mechanical cause, and the moment the light goes out completely, and he's still holding the cover, a white container and several other items are thrown violently from the top shelf. The crash loud enough to make the camera jerk downward, the woman screaming and then laughing from nerves, because sometimes that's all you can do. He tells the spirit to relax, and the fact that that's his response, not running, not shutting the camera off, but talking to whatever is in there with them, says something about how far gone the situation already is. For many viewers following this series, that thrown object is the turning point, because light manipulation can be explained, a stuck door can be explained, but something leaving a shelf with that kind of force in direct response to someone disturbing the fixture is a different category of activity entirely. And like and subscribe if you're enjoying watching this video. The next clip may be the most unsettling of all, because by this point the two of them have been locked inside for roughly 20 minutes and the activity isn't winding down. Watch.
Know what's going on, and it's just flickering. Oh,
okay.
Nope, that didn't work. I'm not understanding. Oh my god! Okay, Spirit! Okay. Just wait, relax. Are you in here with us?
Oh my god.
I have the security cameras up. It's 5:19. 5:19.
Yeah.
And Dan is hopefully on his...
Wait.
Dan is a minute away.
Thank God. Oh my gosh. Yeah, because he probably has no service. Dan?
Oh my god, it's...
The man touches the base of the light fixture again. It flickers and goes dark, and then in the blackout, a deep guttural sound is heard close enough to the microphone that he screams and drops the phone entirely, describing afterward that he heard a whisper in his ear and saw a shadow face before losing control of the camera. And whatever that sound was, it's audible enough on the recording that calling it ambient noise or a mechanical hum doesn't quite hold. He pulls up a security camera feed on a second phone, watching the exterior, checking the time, 5:19, waiting for someone named Dan to arrive from outside, and then the banging starts on the door from the other side, and both of them call out his name like it's the best sound they've ever heard. What they never fully address, though, is what made that sound in the dark before Dan knocked, because that came from inside the freezer, not outside it, and no one else was in there with them.